folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, and life is better with pets. So we got one last round of Samguru Q&A from Samguru Grant before he left for the holiday break, and that includes horses, memories, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's get right into it. So the first question relates to horses, and Katrina Hay asks, I'm wondering that if you ever got around to adding farming to The Sims 4, do you think you would ever add horses? Because Sims 3 Pets doesn't work for me and I miss the horses. And Grant says, I cannot comment on what we may or may not do in the future. And I actually do want horses, and it's for similar reasons that I want cars so badly, because even though there's no open world, I think both horses and cars would serve great purposes for storytelling. And in the case of horses, I think you could do a little bit more, because horses aren't just modes of transportation, they can be pets too. So I think there is still reason to have them. Though on the flip side, I think less of my households will have horses than with cars. And horses are just a bit tougher to fit because they require more space, whereas with cars, you just basically need a driveway, a garage if you want to have them parked inside. But yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to both, but yeah, horses and cars I definitely want at some point, and I think horses would really come in handy, especially in Salvadorada, because then your Sims would have an easier way of getting around that semi-open world, because to just run from the base camps all the way to like the temple or just like the farthest reaches of the jungle takes quite a while, and not every Sim is gonna like know how to teleport with spa day. So yeah, I think it would be a lot more fun to ride a horse into the jungle anyways. And if we do ever get horses in The Sims 4, I do think that we will get a pack mostly dedicated to horses, because they would really need a bigger world. So I would hope that we would get at least a medium-sized world, but one with a decent amount of 64 by 64 lots, with each neighborhood being a fairly large open space, kind of like what you'd see in Windenburg, because I think that is actually one world where horses would somewhat come in handy at least, because then you could still use horses to gallop over to the fishing spots and stuff like that. So yeah, I think horses would be really well paired with a rural sort of town, but still has a lot of open space. And if there are more vacation worlds that come in the future that are like Salvadorada and are semi-open, then even more reason to bring horses in. The next question relates to color wheels. I'll keep this one a bit briefer than most just because I have covered this topic before, but I just wanted to bring it up one more time, just in case you didn't already know what the answer to this was. So Outlaw RW basically asks about having, like, if a color wheel was to be brought into The Sims 4, have a field so you can put in a specific value, so if you try to color match stuff, you don't have to just slide the wheel around and be like, okay, that's close, but not exactly the same color, so I'll just have to deal with it. Simguru Grant says, we do not plan to implement a color wheel. So there you go, we're not getting a color wheel in The Sims 4. I gave up hope on it a long time ago, and yeah, then when Simguru Grant a few months back said that they're not doing color wheels or semi-open world, it's like, okay, good. At least, even though normally he can't comment on whether they can not do something or if they can do something, he's just like, yeah, we're not doing it. So at least we can stop hoping. But I think there's a very, very good chance we'll get a color wheel in The Sims 5, because when they brought in Create a Pet with cats and dogs, there's a color wheel available for them. It's just not available in the rest of the game. So that says to me that they have heard our feedback, that we don't like that not only is Create a Style gone, but even just a basic color wheel is not present. So I think just the natural step up is that for The Sims 5, yeah, we have the color wheel back and we can use it for everything. Pets, hair, objects, clothing, just all the things where it makes sense to have colors. Tattoos as well, I almost forgot tattoos. Yeah, I keep forgetting we can use tattoos in The Sims 4, but I'm trying to remember. The next question is about bathroom stalls. So, William Ho 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 Hudson asks, do you think we'll ever get bathroom stalls? I'm getting kinda tired of having to fake them with 2x1 rooms. It would have made so much sense for them to have come with Get to Work or Dine Out. And Grant says, I'm going to say probably not. For public restrooms, we tend to use the stalls you see in packs like City Living and Jungle Adventure. And I'm half surprised by this answer. I'm not entirely surprised just because it seems like one of those things where if they were going to do it, they would have done it already. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm still confused though as to why they did the whole subject of public restrooms this way instead of what they've done in the past with the actual stalls. Like, I don't understand. I'd love to have an explanation for that. So, yeah, I don't think 2x1 rooms always cuts it. I guess it kind of is okay, but reluctantly. So, yeah, I think it would be nice to have actual stalls. I think there is custom content out there, but I'd still love to see it officially in the game without the need for custom content. Next up is whether base game skills could get updates. G-Ray asks, have you guys considered revamping other base game skills similar to what was done with gardening? And Grant says, no comment. I think this is pretty possible, although, to be honest, I'm not really sure what I'd like to see done with the base game skills, except for one, now that it's technically a base game skill, the photography skill, because it used to be attached to Get to Work, but then when Cats and Dogs came out, they patched it into the base game. And one thing that I really miss with the photography skill from The Sims 3 is that they had these photo collections. And what you have to do in order to complete these collections is to go around the world and take pictures of specific things. Like, for example, there's a household objects collection where you have to take a picture of a toilet, and then another requirement is to take a picture of a garden or a kitchen. And then there's other ones where you have to take pictures of certain buildings around town, like bookstores. And then there was like another one I remember with Generations, where you could like take a picture of a graduation or of Sims pillow fighting, and even ones that related to world adventures. Because, yeah, the photography skill actually came with that expansion pack in The Sims 3, so yeah, you'd have to take pictures of specific landmarks in those 3 worlds, and I just love that. I really love doing that with the photography skill. I never actually completed the whole thing, but I just loved actually trying to go out there and getting pictures of all these objects or certain moments happening. It just, I think, gives the photography skill a lot more purpose. Our next topic is on memories. So Helmy asks, can we please get memories in The Sims 4 like we had it in The Sims 2, for example? And Grant says, question for you folks, what about memories? Be specific, please. Do you like? And to be honest, I'm very, very divided about the idea of bringing back memories, because memories caused problems with The Sims 2 and The Sims 3, because basically, especially if you play the game for a long time over many generations, the memories could break your game and basically just make them implode. It's not great. So yeah, I feel like a lot of people forget that. So be careful what you wish for, you just might get it, but not in the way that you originally wanted. So yeah, I actually don't really care too much that we don't have a proper memory system. Though, if they do manage to bring memories back and not have it implode my save file that I've had since the launch day of The Sims 4, one thing I would like to see is if, let's say, a Sim had a terrible breakup after a long-lasting relationship. Maybe like one day that Sim could wake up and they just suddenly have a bad memory of it, or they run into something in the game, like maybe that sim sees another couple kissing or something, and they will remember that breakup, and then suddenly their mood will be not as good as it was a minute ago. Like, I'm not saying, oh, every time that sim sees a couple, they would get depressed about their breakup. No, although I could imagine that being a glitch. But that's not how I would want it. I just want it to be like a very sort of occasional thing. Maybe it'd actually be kind of rare, but yeah, I'd want there to be moments like that where the Sims actually do remember those things, and it's not just something in a UI panel. No, but actually have it be something that affects our Sims' lives in the long run. And we have one last question that relates to new versus old. So Jack the Simmer says, "Hi Grant, I was wondering, we've had a lot of packs that revisit previous concepts, but we haven't had a new concept like Get Together in a while. Now that pets and seasons are out of the way, is the Sims team brainstorming new concept? I know it's hard to answer." And Grant says, "This is basically 90% of my job. There is a massive tension between doing something new versus doing things we've done in the past. Something we try to do with every pack is bring something new and fresh, so even if it's pets, we do something different." And I can see where Grant is coming from. I have noticed with all the expansion packs for The Sims 4 so far, they always go out of their way to make sure that it's not always the same format as an expansion pack for a previous iteration of the franchise. Sometimes it works in their favor and sometimes it doesn't. And yeah, it has been quite a while since we've had something that leans a bit more towards the new, like Get Together, but in my opinion, that expansion pack could have been so much better. And my favorite expansion pack so far is Seasons, which it does have some twists on that old idea, like the traditions and the custom holidays and the calendar. So I'm really glad that they put some new stuff into the Seasons expansion, so it's not exactly like what we had in The Sims 3 with the festival grounds and that sort of stuff. But now that a lot of the big requests like pets and seasons are out of the way, I am more open to a new idea like Get Together coming in the near future, but hopefully something that I'll like a lot better than Get Together. And to be honest, I kind of like that the first few years have been weighted a little bit more towards the old ideas, because I mean, I've been playing The Sims since The Sims 1, and I don't want to have to keep waiting many years for pets and seasons to come back every time they release a new base game. I'm so sick of that, and yeah, even though they're old ideas, I think they're essential to what's supposed to be a life simulation game. So yeah, I'm kind of glad they didn't wait too much longer to bring back pets and seasons, because oh my goodness, that would have been horrible if at this point we still didn't have either pets or seasons, and we had a whole bunch of new ideas that, while maybe good, may feel more like extras rather than really essential parts of the core game that really integrate into everyday life, instead of it just being something where you might have to go out of your way to experience all that content. So if we did end up getting 2 expansion packs next year again, I would be totally cool with one of the expansion packs being a new idea, and then one of them being an older idea like university or a tropical world that you could live in and maybe like run a hotel or go scuba diving and swimming in the ocean. I'm actually kind of surprised that didn't happen this year. It felt like a big curveball to me that we got Get Famous as the second expansion pack for this year, because yeah, even though I think a decent amount of us wanted celebrities, I did not think we were going to get that this soon. I thought that was going to be either next year or the year after for sure. And that wraps up another Sims info/thoughts video, so feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on any of the topics discussed in this video, and be sure to leave a like or a comment or even subscribe, because it lets me know that you like my channel, my videos, and it helps you keep up to date more easily with my latest content from The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!